People have got nothing better to spend their money on except for games.
And then fireworks.
Fireworks.
No, yeah. Yeah, he's like, damn it, the lounges are closed, the amusement parks are closed, I can't do nothing, so might as well just,
spend my money the way I want to spend it. On fireworks in fucking games.
Yeah, he,
in-app purchases.
He likes burning people, so that's...
What?
In this game, you set their settlements on fire.
Oh, so he's a raider.
I think he's the highest level in our game, or maybe there's one other dude that's in Sweden.
And he's on your team?
Yeah, not in our game. In our alliance, he's the highest one.
Well, at least you got Daddy Warbucks on your side rather than against you. So, like you mentioned, 4th of July was yesterday. How was your evening, your day, your week? What do you want to talk about?
I don't know how my week was, because
last week was the end of June.
It was the end of fucking June. Shit's still going on. Bullshit's still happening. People are still assholes, and
people will always be assholes.
Yeah, but I mean, this year has shown just how much of an asshole that people are. Like, these people don't give a shit about nobody but themselves, and the ones that actually do give a shit about other people are getting beat up, and it's just. I literally this is the fucking apocalypse. It's the apocalypse. This is the end of the world. This is it. This is the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse: pestilence, famine, drought, and war.
Are we in war?
We're always at war. We're fucking at war with Afghanistan. We're at war with fucking Libya or something. So basically, this is the fucking apocalypse. All the 4 horsemen are out. Mm-hmm. They're out. So, good luck, everybody.
Welcome to the podcast. It's really dark. Okay, Brandon.
How was your week?
Well, shit. It was cool. I hurt my knee digging a pond. So,
what?
We're digging a pond in our backyard. My husband came across a golf greens for the backyard, and he's like, "Oh, babe, I really want to get this golf green for the backyard."
Is it actual grass or is it?
It's not grass. He was like, "Oh, if we get this golf green, we're not going to get a pool." And I was like, "If you think you're getting a golf green, you just need to admit to me right now that you know that's just for yourself and you're just being super selfish." And he was like, "Yeah, I know. But if people come over, it's going to be really awesome." I was like, "If you think you're going to get a golf green, I want a pond."
But here's what.
I'll dig you a pond.
You have massive space back there. You could fit all kinds of shit. You could probably fit a fucking Ferris wheel and a goddamn those
petting zoo.
Is that what you want back there? A petting zoo? Because that's not what I said.
A little mini amusement, a little carnival.
Yeah, you could totally put kids can you can charge the neighbors for their kids to come over and fucking let them ride rides and shit in your backyard.
That's not all I'm going to let them to do. I'm going to let them farm food and get chickens and look at them. Not get chickens. I really thought about that, Brandy, making my backyard a tourist attraction. Oh, hey, let's go to Hepburn Farm. They've got I don't want koi. They've got a pond. And it's what are those types of farmers markets or places where you go and pick your own food, and it sounds cool.
Teach kids how to be self-sufficient. You can hold fucking classes and shit.
Kendall's so into it right now, and I love it.
Have the neighbors pay to have their kids come and learn how to start a garden or whatever. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
I'm with you on that, sister. You're right. So let's get the carnival attraction to get the kids in. And then we'll trick them and teach them how to survive and skills that aren't being taught anymore in a lot of places.
They're not being taught anywhere. You actually have to pay for, well...
You have to seek the information out.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, you can find it on YouTube, but... You're right, it's not taught. It's not a part of education, the educational... Unless, I don't know. There's still ag science, I guess.
Yeah, I did plant science in high school, and I dug an orchard out in the back, and it was a lot of fun.
Plant science.
Mm-hmm. Instead of farming and having a pig and stuff like that, they had an option for plant science in high school. I was like, yeah, and we dug an orchard, and
What did you plant? Apple trees?
I don't know what kind of trees we planted. It was so long ago, but I know I dug an orchard, and she was just like really emphasizing the importance of it being straight. Because, like, you know, when you drive by on the freeway, how you see the trees and you can see directly in between them. Whatever.
Because aren't they supposed to be like 8 or 10 feet apart or something? So the roots don't like get all tangled up with each other. I don't know.
It depends on the type of tree it is.
I don't know.
How much space needs to be in between. But I remember doing that in high school. That's all. But, I mean, my week was cool. Besides hurting myself, I realized that I'm an old lady and I need to slow the fuck down. Because I didn't even remember hurting myself. I didn't feel myself hurt until we were done working on the first day. And I was like, oh, shit, what did you do to yourself?
Huh.
And then someone was like, oh, yeah, it's because you're old. And I was like, shut up. I hate you. Just kidding. Well, not just kidding. Anyway, that's about it. I'm kind of tired, to be quite honest. I slept on the couch with Beauty last night because they were setting off fireworks till like 2 a.m.
Oh, God.
And sleeping on the couch isn't that comfortable.
No, not unless you have like a couch that's like meant to be slept on.
Yeah, well, that one's not. Yeah, Jamal walked downstairs this morning. He's like, oh, I thought you would have been asleep. I thought you would have been up. And I was like, I am tired. I'm tired.
Don't you understand?
Yes. But let's get into it. I'm Sunny Hepburn.
And I'm Brandi Flakes.
And this is
Book of
Lies.
Okay.
The podcast.
Bulp!
It's Bulp, bitches! Okay. So, hello. Hi. To all of our listeners, new and old, thank you guys for joining us for this episode. If this is your first episode, welcome to the jungle. Welcome to the jungle. You can visit us online if you'd like. You can connect with us on social, on Twitter at Book of Lies Pod, on Instagram and Facebook at Book of Lies Podcast. Also, you could join us on Patreon. We love our patrons so much. We sent out their swag this past week, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Thank you guys so much for your support. And if you'd like to support us monetarily, we would really appreciate that. We have a couple different levels, $2, $5, and $10. And we'll send you love letters, stickers, swag, and we'll give you a little shout out. And there's a link in the
show notes?
Show notes. There's a link in the show notes.
I was going to say bio.
I was going to say bio, too. My brain is, like, super fried.
That's Instagram talk.
Click the link in the bio. My brain's fried. I've been doing, like, pond research, and I'm tired. Oh, and I had 2 popsicles. I had 2 boozy popsicles.
There we have it.
Now I'm having a beer. That's why I'm tired. All right, Brandi. You want to ask me anything at all? Do you have any questions for the day?
The question of the day is, why is all this bullshit happening? But I guess we'll never have a fucking answer to that. So what are we talking about, Sunny?
I can tell you why this bullshit's happening, because someone's grandpa, who should have been sat down and retired a long time ago, is acting a fucking fool and running the country. That's
someone's grandpa.
Someone's grandpa. That's all I'm saying. Okay? Somebody's old-ass daddy needs to go home. All right? I said it. So what are we talking about, you ask? We are going to talk about David Hampton. And if that name doesn't strike a chord with you, that's totally fine. His life was, or his shenanigans was made into a play and then adapted to screen in the movie 6 Degrees of Separation, starring Will Smith.
And that evolved 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Yes, exactly.
Because Kevin Bacon is the penultimate star of every single freaking movie, even if he's not in it.
Mm-hmm. Correct. So we are going to talk about David Hampton. All right, so I got my research from Wikipedia. I got a story from the New York Times by Dan Barry. Oh, look at me giving names and stuff. Good job, Sunny. And then I got another article from
Bibliography.
Showbiz Weekly by Claude Solnick. Okay? So y'all names have been said. Now shut the fuck up. All right, so let's...
Spicy.
Let's talk about who we're going to talk about. Okay, so David Hampton was born on April 28th, 1964 in Buffalo, New York. He was raised in an upper middle class family. His father was a lawyer. And
I'm a lawyer.
It doesn't. I couldn't find anything about his younger years or whatever. But he left Buffalo and went to New York City to make it as an actor, dancer, whatever, at the age of 18.
Okay, so he had aspirations of being in entertainment.
Yes, and I think that was. And he was also he's openly gay.
Okay.
And he's a black man. But I'm not sure if he's biracial or not. I guess that really doesn't matter. He's a black man.
You know what they say?
What do they say?
One drop and you're black. Even though thousands of white people in this country will deny it.
Oh, hell no, yeah.
They will. They'll deny that they're black because, they look white. Might as well be white.
Oh, jeez.
They passing.
How you feel about Black Lives Matter?
How do you feel about Black Lives Matter? Write to us.
Tell us. Let us know. Maybe we'll get you on the podcast. Okay.
No, we won't.
She's right. So, he did arrive to New York City in 1981, and he wanted to pursue acting and dancing. And he studied acting at the SUNY Buffalo. Apparently, he didn't show up to classes very often.
So he was just like, I'm in a role, but I'm not going to go?
Pretty much. I think he's that young kid that gets into college and acts a fool.
That's what I did.
Brandi can speak to that. So him and a friend, they were partying. They were trying to get into, I think it was Studio 54. There was a fucking long line.
So this is in the 70s?
This is in 1981.
Oh, okay. Studio 54 was only 3 years, only lasted for 3 years.
Let me see what they're trying to get into. Studio 54.
Okay. All right. Because Steve Lavelle...
But I feel like there was a bunch of resurgence of Studio 54, though.
Okay. Well, I don't know. All right. Go ahead.
So, him and a friend were trying to get into Studio 54. They couldn't get in. So, they decide to pretend that they are the children of celebrities. So, David's friend pretends to be Gregory Peck's son.
Mm-hmm.
And David decides to be Sidney Portier's son, David Portier.
All right, then.
And they're like, oh, shit, you're Sidney Portier's son? You're Gregory Peck's son? Come on in, motherfuckers. Let's party. Walk right on in.
Okay.
Come into the club. Let's get it. So this was his new identity. Because people are enamored with celebrity. People are enamored with fancy people. And he was using this David Portier, that was his name, Sidney Portier's son, as his new identity. And that's the story that he was selling all over New York. And him and his friend are getting in the clubs, they're going out eating.
So he's doing this more than just at Studio 54.
It started at Studio 54.
Okay.
And then when he was like, oh, this works.
It worked. Okay.
This works. He decided to start his grift.
Okay.
Because he's a grifter.
All right.
He's a fucking grifter. That's it. End of story. Book of Lies, it's over. All right, it's over. Here we go. So he would say he's Sidney Portier's son. He would show up at nice fancy restaurants and say, oh, I'm waiting for my dad. He would get lots of free meals and drinks while he's waiting for his father to show up, who never showed up.
Must be nice.
He would, he was hanging out at some college, just being a creep, hanging around. And what college was it? Hang on a second. David Hampton, or Portier, whatever, because he went by those names, so we'll just say that. He stole an address book that belonged to a student at Andover in college or whatever, and I guess that's a really fancy school. So he started calling the parents of the people in the phone book. that he found.
What?
Of this guy. Yes. So then he would then say, oh, I'm a friend of your son. I go to school with him. So-and-so is my dad. And somehow he would work his way into their homes. He would like run into them or say, hey, my son gave me your information. I was actually robbed. He would make all kinds of fucking stories.
Your son gave me your information?
I know your son. I have your information. I don't know. It's weird. And so when people would hear like, oh, my son and you're related to Sidney Portiers, come on in. You can hang out with us. You could stay. And like he was raised in an upper middle class family. So like he can recognize like art and he can talk and he's very charming and people were buying his bullshit.
Okay.
The white people were buying his bullshit.
Right.
All right. There's a story that he tried to work his way into Andy Warhol's circle.
Oh, I'm sure.
And it didn't work because
Andy Warhol's an asshole. But anyway, go ahead.
That's what he was. He was like Andy Warhol's a con man himself.
He is.
So
he knew game recognized game.
Exactly, game recognized game.
Uh-huh.
I didn't know Andy Warhol's story. Like, why is
he's an asshole?
Okay.
Like he would get like ingratiate himself with like other famous people, but he was mean spirited. So like he would make fun of people.
Okay.
Like he was just not nice. That's why he got shot.
Oh.
Because he was a dick.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, yeah.
Okay. Well, he attempted and was shooed away. So this is where 6 Degrees of Separation picks up. Because the real family that this happened to, they knew a guy who was a playwright, and they told them the story as to what happened because they were embarrassed,
I'm sure,
and shocked about all this stuff, and so he writes a movie about it, a play.
Okay.
And
to help them ease their embarrassment,
just because it was insane, because how this person worked their way into the family, not into the family, but into the home.
Into these people's lives.
Yeah. So, I think he shows up at their house and said he was mugged or robbed or something, because I haven't seen that movie in a really long time. When I saw the movie, I think I was way too young to watch that movie, because when I saw that scene with Will Smith and the guy in the bedroom or whatever, when they were, like, having their sex. It was very put off. It put me off. Off-putting, and I didn't understand what was going on. I was just like, this is just wrong. And then I couldn't watch the rest of the movie. I stopped watching it. I was like, I can't watch the rest of this movie. And apparently it really happened, because they were letting him stay at their house, and they're called the Elliots. That's their real name, Elliots. And they come home and they find two dudes in the house getting busy, and they're like, wait a minute. You're a guest here. Both y'all motherfuckers gotta go. They fed him. They gave him money. He was like, oh, can I borrow some money? My wallet got stolen. Oh, let's go do this. And, oh, I want to be best friends. And we're hanging out. And let me tell you some stories about hanging out with these other celebrities. Apparently, in real life, he worked his way into Melanie Griffith's circle and spent, like, all night talking to her. So he would pick up these stories from people and then use them, and people just want to hear what he has to say and are so excited about it.
All right.
Why? And he's 19 years old.
Yeah, he's a teenager.
He's a teenager, and I believe, like I said, his father's a lawyer, so this guy's good at lying. Because he was better at lying than at acting, because I think he actually really attempted to act, and he wasn't very good. He's a better grifter, I guess. So what happens is the Elliots, once they figure out that he is not who he said he is, I believe they sued him.
Okay. They
were like, you owe us money. They tried to sue him for like $4,000 or something, just for, it's not even, I know, $4,000. It's
just for the principal.
It's petty. Yeah, well, I got scammed, I guess. But
they're suing him out of principle because they feel stupid.
Pretty much. And
you embarrassed us, we're going to sue you.
Yep. And he didn't pay, and so he went to jail behind this case or whatever. So, he goes to jail. I believe he did like less than 2 years, maybe like 18 months.
Who goes to jail for $4,000?
Black people.
Oh, well, you're right. I forgot. Yes, he's black. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Black people for $500. 100, Bob. So he did some time. And while he's in jail, the Elliots are talking to their friend, and what is his name? Because he gets into the mix. Let me tell you his name. This is the one that wrote the play. His name is, so October 1983, Hampton was arrested and convicted for his frauds. He was ordered to pay restitution of $4,469 to various victims. He refused to comply with the terms, so he was sentenced 18 months to 4 years in prison. So he did 18 months. John Guare. John, Guare.
That sounds like Guar to me, but whatever.
So he comes out with the play, 6 Degrees of Separation. It's on Broadway. It's a hit. David Hampton, or Portier, gets out of jail and finds out that there's a play about his life, and it's making a lot of fucking money.
Of course.
And he's pissed.
He wants his fucking money. You're using my life for your fucking story, for your play to make money off of. You better pay me.
Right. He changed the names, but the thing was the same. So then he starts stalking this guy, John.
Oh, okay.
He's calling him. He's threatening him. He's just like, I want money. This is about me. Anybody he meets on the streets, David, he says that he's in the play on Broadway.
He says he's in it.
Yes. He's like, I'm in that play on Broadway. I actually wrote it. He's making up shit about it. He's
saying he wrote it. Okay.
He says he's in it. He said he wrote it. He's making up all kinds of stuff, but he has no way to prove it. People are like, oh, can we? No, you can't see anything right now. Sorry. But I'm in it. And then he attempts to sue John
Guare
for $100 million.
What?
Mm-hmm. Because after the play gets picked up, the movie's getting made.
Oh, God. Okay.
And so he wants $100 million.
$100 million. $100 million.
$100 million. I'm going to sue your ass. And he's laughed at, of course. And no, he doesn't
get any money.
He gets thrown out. But as all this is still going on, he's still getting over on people. He goes on a date with this dude, and he's like, "Oh, are you going to be attending and this is as time's going on. Are you going to be attending the September 11th benefit fair? At the Met?" And he's like, "Oh no." He was like, "Well, I've got a deal on tickets. I'm actually going to be picking them up. I need $1,000 for both of our tickets."
God.
The guy goes to the ATM, gives him the money. He's like, "Okay, so I'm going to handle this. Let's go have dinner." And they go out and have a fancy dinner, and like they're eating, they're drinking, they're doing like $25 shots. And the guy was like, "This was one of the best dates I've ever had, to be quite honest." But after dinner's over, he's like, "I'm going to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back." Never shows up. The bill comes, it's $450. And then he's just waiting on him, and he never showed up. And he was like, "That was really fucked up, but this was still one of the best dates I've ever had." Are you fucking kidding me?
In other words, I had a good time until the end.
Yeah, because he knows how to make you feel good. He knows how to flatter you.
Yep.
To get you excited about some shit. Because apparently he was going on and on and on about this event.
Don't
and
trust
all
a
the
flatterer.
people that are going to be there. I don't. You can go ahead and smile in my face, and I might look bright-eyed at you, but I see you. I see you a mile away, my friend. And I'm very, very cautious and skeptical of anybody. I'm like, what do you want? What do you fucking want?
Flattery will get you nowhere.
What do you want? Let's not play these games. He was tried on charges of harassing Mr. Guare, but was never convicted. He again took a shot at acting, but he was a better con man than an actor. I think what his thing was, he was trying to clout climb. Is that what it's called? Social climb. And he wanted to be around interesting people. So
nobody's actually really interesting.
No one's interesting at all. Everybody's fucking boring. But he was always trying to get into circles with very exclusive people, and so he could say, "Oh, I was having dinner with, the Sheikh of Alibaba, and Prince Ali, and Jasmine was there, and Genie. Everybody was there, okay? And he just wants to tell everybody this so he could say, oh,
he wants to be the center of attention.
Yes, and he wants to be known by that, but instead he's known as a fucking con man, and he never... We don't even know why he was chasing it, because people were like, why are you, like, we're having a good time now, why do you want more, why do you have to grift, why do you have to do this? Because I think his stance was, I can always get money. Like, don't worry about money, don't worry about this, we can always get money. And so... I think there's people out there that know that they could use people for money and they could play on people's emotions and sympathies.
Those are fucking con men.
Ugh, it's gross.
They're con men and women.
Yeah.
Con artists. They fucking, that's what they do. That's how, I mean, like, hello, Anna Delvey didn't pay for anything. Mm-hmm. Nothing. And then she went to jail.
Yeah. Over millions, though.
Yeah. So...
millions of dollars for her. Well, eventually, David Hampton.
Monsieur Hampton.
Monsieur Hampton. This is what he looked like. He looks like old boy from...
he actually does resemble, like, he could be related to Sidney Portiers.
Mm-hmm. He looks like old boy from Grey's Anatomy. The one with the light eyes that left his wife?
Jesse, no he doesn't. He doesn't look like him. But, I don't know.
I was trying to tell y'all something. I don't remember what it was.
You said old boy from Grey's Anatomy that left his wife.
You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so, David, he was, like I said, he was harassing that Guare guy. And he was like, you don't just take someone's life story without contacting them. You just don't do that.
You just don't.
Yeah, he told that to New York Magazine. And they're like, of course, you were the one who stolen lives and identities and have been punished. And now he's mad that this guy stole his... I don't think he stole it. I mean, like, it is his story. So do you think... How do you feel about that? Like, if someone wrote a play or a story or made a lot of success based off of you, do you feel like they owe you money? Like, do they should... If
I did something to some family and the family's way of coping was to tell their story, because you don't have my side, you have their side. Mm-hmm. So you're telling the events from a skewed point of view because it's their side of the story. Mm-hmm. You might be portraying me all wrong in my eyes. So, you need to consult me. Because if you make me look like the villain...
You are the villain.
Shut up. If you make me look like the villain, and in my head, I'm not the villain, I'm going to come for you. So, yeah, probably. I'd probably stalk you, too.
Well, apparently the thing that he has a grievance with is in the play, and I'm not sure in the movie because I didn't finish watching it, he becomes violent. And he's like, I didn't do that. He became like violent and threatening, and he was just like, you know, that wasn't me. I didn't do that.
Okay, so yeah, they portrayed him like maybe in their eyes they felt like he was like those people. This is what bothers me about like the law and certain things. Like people will tell a story, and obviously one person's going to be believed more than the other person. Right. Usually, the so-called or alleged victim is going to be believed more than the alleged perpetrator.
Right.
So if you say, you came after me, or I came after you with a hammer, meanwhile, I was literally like, hey, can you just leave me the fuck alone?
Right.
Stop messing with me.
Right.
I had no weapon, but you tell of the authorities or whoever you're telling the story to that I came after you with a hammer and I tried to kill you and I did none of that, then there's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
Because you're lying, and that's where that white privilege comes in.
Right.
Because you can say everything your brain for some reason makes you feel like you're being threatened more than you actually are, or that your life is in jeopardy more than it actually is, or even if it isn't at all. You're like, you see me, I'm a monster now. I have a monster face. I'm 8 feet tall. I have fucking claws and freaking fangs, and I'm coming for you and your family. Meanwhile, I'm like, hey, can you just leave me the fuck alone for 5 minutes, please? Thank you.
I know
it's not okay.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So from his perspective, he's probably like, yeah, no, that's not what happened, because I never did that. And there were people who were like, oh my God, we were scared for our lives. It's not right. I'm not saying that that's what happened to him and them, but I'm saying that I can see that happening because it happens all the time.
Okay.
Especially in cases where it's a black person versus people who are not black.
Yeah. She right. So, David decides to crash all the parties for the play. He is doing all kinds of interviews. Like I said, he says that he tells new NYU students that he had written the show, that he's starring in it, and he's relentless. Eventually, he dies.
Of HIV, right?
Yeah. He was only 39. He died from AIDS complications. Yeah, I mean...
And what year did he die?
In 2003.
Oh, okay, so that was recent. Like, it was more recent than it was. I thought he died in the 90s.
Yeah, no, 17 years ago.
Okay.
He had, 13 years to be pissed off about the movie.
No, I thought he died in the 90s.
No, he did not. He died recently. This is going to be a short episode because I'm fucking tired. Nope, he died. He died of AIDS complications. But he had friends around him, but he still was...
Doing the same old shit?
He was still doing the same old shit because that date he went on, it was 2 years before he died.
Oh, okay.
Because it was a September 11th. It was probably a year before he died, actually, because it was a September 11th event.
Uh-huh.
So...
That's why when you said that, I was like... Mm-hmm. Was he alive at that time? Because I thought he died in the 90s.
Yeah, we're time jumping, guys. We're traveling in time. But it's just interesting to me that there's so many people out there that are doing this thing right now. That's a story. That's a story. I'm sticking to it.
I guess. That's, I'm like, you didn't say how he got involved with his family, though.
He just showed up at their house. He just showed up. He had their address. He had their names. He knew where they were. So I'm sure he cased people by their fucking addresses and where they lived. And then he was like, oh, yeah, I know your son, because he got this book from another guy, and the son's name was in the book. So he's calling people, hey, I know your son. We were actually traveling. I missed my flight. I hurt myself. He said, who fucking knows what he said? Who knows what he really said? But in my head, I can imagine what he said. Like yesterday, I wasn't sure what I was doing, so I really didn't have time to watch the movie. But if you guys want to learn more about David Hampton or David Poitiers, because Sidney Portiers had all daughters, by the way.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh my God. Like, there's no way to really research a lot of stuff either back in the day, like in the 90s. Well, this happened in the 80s for these people. But there's no database. There's no way to fact check. There's no way to find the truth. So long ago, it was a lot easier to con people.
Yeah.
Hopefully, the only good thing about social media...
They just made phone calls. That's what they did to fact check. They made a bunch of phone calls. Mm-hmm. They called, lawyers. They called people they knew. Mm-hmm. Hey, I know so-and-so that knows so-and-so. Maybe he knows. And that's how they did their fact checking.
Well, how they figured it out in the movie, they found a book, or maybe it was like a article or something, with Sidney Portiers and all of his children. And they're like, all daughters... We've been had! And they figured out. It's stupid. I wouldn't let a stranger stay in my house. And honestly, I have to know my kids' friends before I'm going to believe that Kendall's kicking it with you.
So the son never came around and...
They called. The son wasn't living at home. He was off at college.
Right.
So they called and like, oh, your friend's here. And he's like, oh, excuse me? Yeah, your friend, David Portiers. He's like, I don't know no fucking David Portiers. Well, he's got to keep he's like, you let a stranger in the house. What are you doing? You let a stranger in the house! Parents are stupid.
I don't understand,
when your story is just so elaborate, it's very detailed, you're selling it because you believe it.
Do you have pictures of yourself with my son? No? Okay. What's my son's middle name? No? Okay. No, we're not friends.
You mean good old Rusty?
Oh yeah, we call him old Rusty at school because, he has that red hair. No, he doesn't.
His balls are red.
He has red in his beard.
The rug is red, okay? Leave old Rusty Nuts alone. That's fine. Look, you could take this on alone with you.
No, you can't. It's not a multi-tool. That's a fucking bottle opener. What are you gonna be popping corks for?
I might need to put a cork in a tree and suck the sap out of it. Ew. That's how you survive on alone. Oh. That's what I'm saying. Anyway, like I said, this is gonna be a short one. Brandi, you have a thumbs up for the week?
I really don't, unfortunately.
How's the jewelry coming along?
It's just sitting there.
Are you promoting it?
Not really.
Well, are you going to finish writing the book? Because I really want to hear what's going to happen in your Trump book.
God, I have too many projects. I don't know. No, I don't know. I don't think I have one for this week because, shit is just, the dumpster fire is just getting bigger.
The dumpster fire is getting bigger.
It's getting bigger. People just keep throwing more trash on it. Fucking tires and shit. Dirty black smoke going up in the air. We're all going to die.
Oh, eventually, yes. This is the facts of life.
I feel like I'm literally just waiting for some fucking asteroid to just hit the planet and just do us in like the fucking dinosaurs.
Well, live your best life then, every day, girl. No wonder people are out there frauding people. Are like, fuck it, we ain't got shit to do.
I would honestly, that's how I feel. I'm just both we can't get that fucking orange balloon out of the fucking chair. We can't fucking, we can't go nowhere. Governor's like, listen, motherfuckers, y'all gonna start paying fines because you ain't wearing masks, which I'm perfectly okay with because these assholes that aren't wearing masks are part of the problem. Mm-hmm. And the ones that are like, oh, I'm bored, I'm gonna go to the beach and contaminate a bunch of people are part of the problem. I just want everything to be okay. It isn't.
It's going to be okay.
And so...
It's going to be okay.
This is the end. My only friend in the end. Anyway, what's your thumbs up for the week?
We digging that pond, y'all. Digging that pond. So, the pond liner. I ordered the pond liner. We're doing it cheap. So I'm ordering all the pieces. Jamal's back there digging it. And Jamal's like, I've got a jackhammer. I got this. So it's going really well. So I'm looking forward to that, to having a little bit of serenity in the backyard and something different. And just, building up the homestead. I'm just looking forward to that, girl. I just have to make my home my home is where the heart is. You're my little getaway. I don't know what I'm trying to say. My home is my oasis. My sanctuary. That's what I was looking for. Sanctuary. I finished watching Pose season 2 last night. I cried a couple times because I really thought that Blanca was on her way out. And I was like, I can't lose Blanca. I can't. And then I did see that episode, the Girls Trip one that you told me, when Electra read that bitch. And she was like, read her! Read her!
Get her.
And she was like, with your weak-ass J. Crew sweater, take your ass over there and have some clam chowder, bitch. I work in the city, and I know men pretending to be women. And she was just like, oh, she's huge, though.
She's 6'7"?
Jesus. Wearing 5-inch heels. Stop it right now. She's like, you might be 7 foot tall. And Blanca's 5'2"? Tiny?
Is Blanca tiny? I feel like Blanca's tall.
She looks tall depending on who she's shooting with. But when she's standing next to Electra...
Oh, well, Electra towers over everyone.
But her and Angel are the same height.
Electra?
Mm-mm. Blanca and Angel.
Oh, well, yeah, and Angel does look tiny, so I guess so.
Mm-hmm. And then poor Angel with her... Watch Pose on Netflix, y'all. It is so good. It is so good. I was seriously crying on some episodes just because, I was just I just felt, the music and I felt what was happening in the scenes, and it was just, it's really good.
Yeah, the music, like seriously, the soundtrack is on point.
It's on point with the era.
Because I was like, oh, like every episode, I'm like, that's my jam. That's my jam. All of this shit, like just bringing back memories and whatnot. So,
I like when Electra was in the car and she's like, "This is a good song."
She did no driving it.
Okay, this is good.
I didn't know you know how to drive. I don't.
How about Alexis from the Bodega? The fuck? She's crazy. I really liked Electra this season. The first season, she was a bitch.
She's just too bougie, and just too fucking full of herself. And so she got brought down a peg, and then she tried it again, and it didn't work out for her. So she was like, "Okay, I'll humble myself now."
Yeah. So I did like her this season more. I like when she was like, "It's hammer time, bitch!" Pulling the hammer out and stuff. She was like, "What would Candy do?" It was like, "I need you to cripple his foot."
To hobble him.
She was gonna do it too.
She got that man's fucking carcass in her closet.
She was like, "Ooh, it stinks in here." I just really love Pine.
Oh, the Pine.
She said he gonna be with her forever. I mean,
you can dump his remains later on. Like, you don't have to keep him in your closet.
That's a secret you gotta take with you to the grave. But it's really good. If you guys just want something to take your mind off of it, and if you're open to like seeing different sides of people, like pose with transsexuals and transgenders, gays, and everybody in between, it's really, really good.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Check it out. Did I say thumbs? That was my thumbs up. Pawns and Pose, right?
Okay.
Maybe that's what I'm gonna call this episode. Pawns and Pose. Other than that, thank you guys for listening. We're fighting a good fight here. We're here for you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you. Brandi?
Yeah.
Anything else?
Not that I can think of at the moment, because I am... Oh, you know what? Here's a thumbs up. State of Survival. That's my thumbs up for the week. State of Survival, the mobile game. I'm digging it. I'm in an alliance that's pretty fucking awesome. And we won our Reservoir raid, which was great. And I made MVP and for gathering water, and that was great. So that's my fucking thumbs up, because like this thing be killing my eyes. My eyes be burning when it's time to go to bed, but I still be playing. So that's my thumbs up. State of Survival.
Okay.
Give it a whirl.
Give it a whirl. Give it a spin. And while you do that, go ahead and subscribe. Come on back. We've got some more fraud for you next week. I'm Sunny Hepburn.
And I'm Brandi, please.
And this was
Book of Lies.
The podcast.
Welcome to the boat, bitches.
Welcome to the boat, bitches.